Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna. It's great to see you. I hope. I hope. Um, okay, good. There we go. I'm sorry. I was panicking for a minute. I was on the wrong screen myself. Holy mackerel. Looks like something is still wrong, but I hope we're doing okay. All right. Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. Tonight is, and I expect to see a lot more movement on that thread, which makes me think there's something wrong because there's always a lot of people on when it is gallery night, and it is gallery night tonight. I have got a lovely collection, as always, of things that people have submitted for us to look at together, finished projects, new projects, just seeds of ideas, all kinds of beautiful work, ideas, inspiration. Wait till you see. Speaking of beautiful things, come here. You want to come? Come on. You can come say hi? No, he's just going to be a pain. There he is. There he is. Oh gosh. Oh. I'd like to say hi. Oh. Buttons the dog, joining us for gallery night for just a moment to put his stinky breath in my face. Well, welcome back, everybody. You made it through the week. We are at the best time of the week and maybe the best time of the month because this is our time when we look at each other's work. And, you know, sometimes we work in such a solitary way that you lose track of the fact that you're doing great work. You're trying new things. You did something a little different here or there, and maybe it's working out great. And sometimes you lose track of that when you're working in isolation. So it's great to come together on Fridays. There seems like there's something wrong with my screen, but I will say, Myra, it's great to see you in Virginia. I used your Huntervaser-esque piece as our thumbnail tonight because it really was so lovely. It really was so lovely. I didn't mean to rush that sentiment. I'm just checking my phone because it seems like there's something wrong with the thread. The thread is usually tons and tons of people right now. I hope there's not a problem. When I ran the thing for Tigger, there was a problem with finding the thread, but I think that was an unrelated problem. So I'm just going to go on business as usual, and you tell me. Sounds like anti-logical, but you tell me if there seems like there's something wrong, or send me a message because I've got my phone right here. So it's a nice compilation of work tonight, lots of different styles, lots of different techniques, some old friends, some new friends, which makes it just fun, just extra fun. So, you know, I'm going to start by sharing what I'm working on now. I'm working on a lot of rug stuff. And so that's kind of hidden because I'm wrapping up the Rose's Tale, our Rose book, and I'm already planning forward to the Halloween book and Magpie Times. Linda, cheers, my dears. Great to see you. And Magpie Times is coming up soon, so I've submitted all of my stuff to Judy for that, and I'm proofing things with that. So there's a lot of different things going on. But today I did something different, and I want to share that because I thought something fun, something different. I'm ashamed to say I live in Hamden, Connecticut, outside of New Haven, and the next city over is Hartford, and right in between there is a city called New Britain, and it's not known for its beauty, unlike Britain, but it does have a world-class art museum, and I'm ashamed to say I have never gone until today. Our art group, who meet through the church, had something planned at the New Britain Museum of Art, and what it was a program, and I mean, talk about world-class art. There was like, you name it, you name an artist, that artist was in the museum. I mean, it was one of those small museum, but my God, it was extraordinary. I was just walking by going, oh my God, that's a Sargent. Oh, that's an O'Keeffe. Okay. Unexpected. So we were there for the purpose of, it's like we're all women in the group, and we were there to look at an exhibit of some women, modernist women. It was my favorite, Helen Frankenthaler, and Grace Hardian, and gosh, there was a couple of others. I can't believe I've already forgotten. Not really forgotten, but you know what I mean. Anyway, 1950s era, sort of Greenwich Village artists, modernists, modern expressionists, and we were talking about how difficult art has always been for women, and how it's always been difficult for women to claw their way into the big time with the men. And it is a fact. It's not debatable. It is certainly a fact. It's even very, very difficult for women to get representation in art galleries and museums. There's a massive movement going on to try to get more work from women into museums and galleries. Isn't that crazy in 2025? It's true, though. We're not properly represented. In any case, we went to have this interesting conversation about modern female artists, and I really enjoyed it. We walked through the gallery and saw a bunch of really cool paintings. They were all paintings I knew, and I didn't know they were there, so it was a great surprise. And then we went into the workshop area, and in the style of Helen Frankenthaler, and her sort of I mean, she could be known for so many things, right? You look at her work and you decide what you like best about it. But technique-wise, the thing that she's best known for is for staining her canvas rather than priming it. So while most artists will always prime their surface, their canvas, to get a nice even sort of locked starting point, ground zero, she didn't. She stained it by pouring these giant coffee cans of paint, thinned paint, oil paint, acrylic paint, whatever she was using at that time, not together, obviously, onto her canvases. And because they weren't primed, it kind of soaked in. It just soaked. So sometimes the manner in which she fixed or began her canvases is called a stain or a soak. And it's not quite as easy as that. And that's what the workshop was about. They gave us each a canvas that was just fabric. It was just a piece of fabric stretched on the stretchers, but no priming. And the workshop leader showed us how to, Miss Angel showed us how to wet the canvas if you wanted to. And it was the same thing as dyeing wool, fabric, wet the canvas if you wanted to, but then if you dropped, and we mixed our pigments from powder, you drop a little bit on it. If it's wet, of course, it bleeds all over the place. But if it's dry, you get a really crisp line. So the idea was to kind of experiment with doing with an unprimed canvas, because all of them were experimenting with the different effects that you can get with paint when the material is not prepared for you yet. So I did, this is a very bad piece. Like, we just did it in 20 minutes. But these were our canvases, and I think the green screen is probably going to play us up. But we didn't have a lot of colors, and I didn't want to be a pig, because we had these little dishes that we were sharing, and there was colors in there, and I didn't want to be a pig. But I took a few blues, and I took a few sort of black pewter colors and purples. The color's probably way off here. And there's some green back here. And I kind of washed part of it and didn't wash part of it. And it was super, super fun. This looks like black, but it's actually green. This is actually green. That's because of the stupid green screen. Sorry. I can never turn the green screen off, even though it is off. But the whole background is like green. I wonder if I show it from a different... It knows, doesn't it? It just knows. There's no actual black in it. This is black up here. But anyway, this is the pond where I go on summer vacation. And you see I kind of drew a nude in front, which was not really what we were doing. But I thought, I've got to do something figural, or it doesn't make sense to me. This is the pond we always go on Cape Cod when we stay, and we'll be there in a few weeks. And it's connected. This is White Pond. It's connected to Blue Pond, and that's connected to Carbuncle Pond, which is like sometimes called Black Pond, because it's so small and full of life that it's really black and murky. This is the one I like the most. That's where all the frogs and ducks and turtles are. And this is the one where we swim. This is the really large one. So I really liked it. And then I did this kind of thing around the edge where they only gave us these thick paintbrushes. So I just used my thick paintbrush to just kind of decorate the edge like that. And I thought, ooh, that's really fun. And then I got home and I thought, okay, well, I'm not done, but I don't have time for this. And I thought, I wonder, this is just canvas, right? This is just canvas. I wonder if this would be, wonder if it would be possible to punch into it. I mean, obviously not with the regular punch. I was thinking like the fine punch or a mini punch. I'm just not sure. I want to do something else to it. I think what I accidentally gave her enormous boobs. I didn't mean to do that. I mean, yeah. But I didn't mean to do that. I feel like I need to do more to it, and I'm just not sure what. I wanted to do something fibery to it. We'll have to see how it goes. I suppose if I punched through, I can see through it. I could kind of sketch it. If I punch through with a mini punch, You know what? That should work because this is almost like weaver's cloth. It's really tight. I just wonder, maybe I'll just push it through over here on the back of it to see if it would work. Because I would love to just draw the shape of the pond through here, you know, with the light showing, and punch through that and put some texture and stuff with fiber in the yarn, because I've got, like, I'm looking over at my shelf and seeing some of my sock yarn that's color changing, the variegated yarn, and that would be so cool. I could even punch like words through if I wanted to, and waves and things like that. So I'll have to see what it goes, how it goes. I might, I'd like to go a little further with it. If I feel like I can't safely do it with the punch, I might, like, sounds so awful, but glue some jewels on or something like that. Because I mean, it's not a fine piece of artwork, and it's not what I do. But it was a super fun afternoon with my ladies, and that was a great memory. I'd like to hold on to that memory. All righty, Melissa, great to see you. Welcome, and Sharon, great to see you. You are having a wine cooler. Oh yeah. There's not many buddies on tonight. Is there something going on tonight that I'm missing? Is it like, it's not like the Super Bowl or something? It's not even the right time for that, right? It's like, what's going on tonight? There's something strange, because this is usually our huge crew tonight. Well, it's going to be recorded as it always is, so we can always watch later. Let's see what some of you are working on. I think almost all of you have sent something in tonight. Let's get started. Oh, you know what? Wait. Before we get started, I have to show you. I just mentioned that, oh, wait a minute. Nope, not that. Not yet, anyway. I just mentioned that this museum was absolutely amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And there were some beautiful pieces there by some very famous artists. And I could plug my phone in. And I loved everything that I saw. But there were a few exceptional pieces by artists who are not super famous. So I wanted to share those with you real quick, in case you go down the rabbit hole this weekend and go, oh, I've never heard of that artist, but this is my thing. And depending on the year of the piece, right, would determine whether it's copyright free, if it's 1930 or before. Now, this piece is super unusual because can you see what's going on here? There are two images, and the top one is meant to speak to the original, the bottom one. So the top one is by, well, let's say first, the bottom one is by Raphael Peale, who lived between, it's a classic still life, bowl of peaches, painted in 1816, in oil on panel. He lived between 1774 and 1825. Now, beautiful though it is, the bowl of peaches, the top one is obviously a contemporary piece done by Justin Favela, born in 1986. This piece called Bowl of Peaches, after Raphael Peale's Bowl of Peaches, was done last year in 2024. And what is the medium? I'll show you closer up. It is tissue paper and glue. Amazing, because when you look at it a little bit closer up, it looks almost like a latchhook rug, or even more like a rear rug because of the rows in it. Do you know what I mean? But it is tissue paper, and there was a huge sort of emphasis in this in this museum show. There was a lot of this tissue paper art, and I have to say, this is not a textile rich collection. This really spoke to me. There was a whole room of it where when you first walked in, it was like all four walls, you were like a tiny ant in this room full of tissue paper collage. I just thought, ooh, that is interesting. Something else that was really interesting that isn't always my taste. I walked right toward this because I thought, oh my God, is that a Joseph Albers? But it is not a Joseph Albers. It is a George Chaplin. That is a living artist who was born in 1931. And this piece, ooh, Karen says I don't see the link on YouTube. Hey, let's pause for a second and say, did you all have trouble finding the link? Is there something wrong on YouTube? Just stay with me here. I'm going to check for a second. Hopefully nothing happens. I'm just going to check a different window, make sure that this looks all right. I knew there was something wrong, but you guys made it. You girls made it. So it made me think we're okay. Let me check. Let me make sure I didn't do something stupid with the link. Hang on there. Live. Okay. It is unlisted. Amazing. Okay. Well, I can change it right here, but I'm on a different link. Because I think I came in on a live link, didn't I? Well, you know what? I just changed it. So let's see what happens. Are you all still there? Let me just answer her. Sorry, I knew something was wrong. It was on unlisted. How did you all make it in? You are so good. I switched it from private to unlisted instead of private to public, which I've never done before. I'm so sorry about that. Um, I'm telling her just fixed it. Did you all come right through YouTube? You just went in there and, gosh, I don't know how you did it, but you're amazing. Hopefully we see more buddies coming through. Let's conclude this little conversation we're having on George Chaplin, because you might say to yourself, well, that's not very interesting. There we go. Thank you, Karen. I was wondering, I had the thing set wrong. Totally my fault. I changed it from private to unlisted rather than private to public. I'm so sorry. Thank you all for figuring it out. There we go. We're getting our numbers back. I just started a minute ago. And we haven't looked at any rugs yet. I was wondering what was going on. Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna. It is great to see you this Friday night. Cheers, my dears. I hope you all are having a great night. I'm so sorry about that. We got there in the end. All right, so sorry about that. I was just talking about, by way of review, I was talking about, I had an adventure today going to the museum, the New Britain Museum of Art in New Britain, Connecticut. And Ryan, great to see you. Thank you for hanging in there. Melanie, thank you for hanging in there. Yes, yes. Hopefully you can see me now. I'm hoping you can see me now. Can you see me now? Okay, great. Melinda, great to see you. So I went to this museum called the New Britain Museum of Art, and there were some extraordinary pieces in there that were like world class. So I was just showing a few things, and then I'm going to switch to your rugs and the rest of it. I could only find it from one of your posts. Okay. Gosh, I'm so sorry. That's me being an idiot, isn't it? All right, our numbers are bouncing up. Hopefully all our friends make their way. So I saw this piece at the museum and I thought, gosh, I thought it was Joseph Albers because he famously played with the square and colors within a square. But no, it's George Chaplin, and he is another famous living artist who plays with color. You might say to yourself, gosh, that's not interesting at all. Think about it for a second. Where can you use and how can you decorate with a piece like this? This also looks just like a Rhea rug, right? It really does, doesn't it? You can imagine this with high pile, right? Lots of fiber. Now, incredibly, they had this display of shaker furniture mixed with George Chaplin paintings. I mean, you gotta admit this goes great together, and you couldn't name two more extreme corners of art, could you? Joe, great to see you. No, you're not. You're not late. I screwed everything. I screwed up the link tonight. I'm sorry about that. Yes, Joe. There's two Josephine P's, so that is confusing. But now I've got you. Now I've got you. Jessica, great to see you. I'm sorry about that snafu at the beginning. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're all making your way here. You know, this exhibit of shaker furniture, which in itself was amazing, baskets, furniture, quilts, textiles, but with these George Chapin, what did I say? George. Oh, I already forgot. I keep wanting to say Chaplin. Okay, like Charlie Chaplin. Um, I keep wanting to say Carlin, right? Like the comedian. But isn't you must admit that this has something. The union of super modernist painting with very traditional furniture, very austere furniture. Liza, great to see you. Gail, great to see you. Connie, welcome. Great to see everybody tonight. Sorry for the glitch at the beginning. I'm so glad you're there. I thought this was just Dave. Great to see you. Chicken souvlaki and fries in Greektown. Oh my God. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Excellent, beautiful spring day. Finally, right? Here it is. Yeah, this was a shock to my senses because I have to admit, I often think about doing a rug like a Rhea rug that is very color controlled, right? With not a lot of variety, something like this. And I always think, but now when and how could I use it? this exhibit to me, because I love to have old furniture too. Mine isn't as fine as this, right, by any means, but I do have a lot of old furniture. And walking through this exhibit of these really modern paintings with this shaker furniture really made me think, you know what? I couldn't be more surprised. This absolutely works great. Isn't it charming how they used the same color blue painting in this corner of the vignette to match this like blue box, like just a plain painted shaker box? I just thought this was extraordinary. I was so inspired because I loved the colors, and it answered the question once and for all for me, like, what can you do with super sort of monochromatic, duochromatic modernist compositions like this? The answer is you can do anything with them. I saw a few paintings that I wanted to share with you that I thought were exceptional. This one has as much light as it appears to have. This is by the famous American artist, probably leading American impressionist, Child Hassam. And this was painted in 1912. It's called Strawberry Tea Set. And it was an exceptional picture. There was a whole wall of pictures that the thing that they had in common was they really glowed. And you can see that here. Isn't that extraordinary? I mean, the strawberries on the teapots you can sort of see, but the glow was just immense. With this one too, this is another, like, I mean, if you're thinking, is there a light shining on it? No, it's like, it's glowing. This is a Frederick Carl Fresca, and this was painted in 1902. I think this is, no, wait a minute, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's the bird cage. Hold on. Wait a minute. Gave you the wrong info there. I think it's the same painter, though. Pretty sure it's the same painter. No, I missed the tag on that one. Did I? Yeah, I missed the tag on that one. Sorry. It still is Frederick Carl Fresca, but I missed the name on that one. I'm sorry. I missed photographing that somehow. But I thought that was an extraordinary painting. This one's same artist, and this is the bird cage. And just the amount of patterning and light that are in these, this is like the height of Impressionism. I thought you might enjoy looking at them because stuff this age is in the public domain, right? So if any of these paintings with all of this glorious spring color, if that's your bag, these are absolutely doable, and because of the year, they're in the public domain, right? So something to do is maybe look up some of these unusual artists. I discover this is a Chihuly, of course. I had to send a photo of this because whenever I see one, I feel like they're animals in the wild that I need to photograph and then tell you where they are, just in case, because I know some of you are like enthusiasts, and I love to say, oh, you know where I spotted this one? Well, it was at this museum, the New Britain Museum of Art. It's just fun to stumble into a lot of new artists and to try something new if you're with me at the very beginning. And of course the show is recorded, but to work on a painting in a different style in an art museum that I hadn't been to before. And because it's me and I am so bad, I can only look at art for a little while and then I am just oversaturated. I feel like I'm taking in more elements of it than like average. I don't think I'm above average or an exceptional person, but I do think that my brain looks for certain things and it like clocks them, locks them in, and then I feel overwhelmed and oversaturated pretty quickly because there's only so many ideas that I can keep fresh and be excited about before I start forgetting them and getting sloppy. So I'd rather just go for a short time, look at a few paintings and think, whoa, I don't know that artist. I'm going to look that artist up. This is like a whole new world. And then go home and get on the computer, go down the hole and pop out another day when my brain is blank again, which is most days. But it was a lot of fun. Highly recommend if you are anywhere near this area. Catherine, great to see you. Sorry about that. It was me. It wasn't you. It's not you. It's me. It's always me. By the way, the thing I did, the Tigger presentation yesterday was super fun. It was a design. It was not a design like, but it was like a composition class based on spring motifs. And it went really well. There was a lot of participation. I had a lot of fun. If you were on there live for that, thank you for showing up. It's there for Tigger members always, no matter when you join. It is there on the Tigger site. So it was like an almost 2-hour class. I was trying to make it a little bit shorter, but it always goes, haywire with me. It was a lot of fun. Diane, great to see you. Welcome back. So now that's what I've been working on, and that was my fun today. Let's look at what you've been working on and what you've been having fun with. Melanie, you are first. Melanie Barrett, let's come back over here and let's get rid of Chihuly here. We are oops, wait a minute. We want to keep the ribbon and over here. There we go. There we go. Melanie, you sent this lovely piece in. I am so sorry that you've sent me stuff on past gallery nights and I've missed putting it in. I just have to shout out to all of you. If you send me something and it's not in the show, it's not because I rejected it. It's because somehow I opened it and I thought I moved it to a folder and I didn't, or I thought I forwarded it to Shannon and I made a mistake, or something stupid happened on my end, right? But I'm not getting it. And always when you send something for gallery night, always send it in a fresh mail, like a fresh email, like start a new one, so that when I get it, Joy, great to see you. So that when I get it, if I open it, sometimes if it's like an old thread, sometimes I open it and I see something I've done and I go, okay, that must be from a past gallery night. So always start with a new thread. Melanie, I'm sure that wasn't the case. I'm sure it was me. But always know if I didn't put your thing in, please tell me, right? Please tell me. I didn't do it on purpose. I would never do it on purpose. There's time for all of us. So sorry, I'm so sorry about that. This is a beautiful piece. Melanie writes, hi, Deanna. This is what I've been working on recently. It's a Jane McGowan Flynn pattern for charcoal called Majolica. I can feel that now. And I got it at the ATHA conference last fall. It is 13 by 13 on rug warp. It's done with Briggs & Little 2 and 3 ply yarn. Well, it is gorgeous. Danny, great to see you. Yeah, I screwed up the listing for it. I am so sorry. But super welcome. I'm happy to see you. This is such a beautiful piece, and it does look like Majolica, right? That kind of sort of pottery. So colorful, so flower driven, so nouveau, so Art Nouveau in style. And this looks like a tile, right? It looks like a tile for the floor, for the wall, from around the fireplace. Beautiful, simple design, graphic, really striking. And it looks like you're doing it with punch, maybe. Maybe you flipped it over for punch. And the only reason I say that is because you seem to have gotten, or you seem to have achieved, a very distinct and high border around the edge, which would be hard to do with hooking. That is one of the things that punch does better, because you can put a washer on or take a washer off, or adjust, depending on what style of punch you've got, adjust your punch so that it is punching a lower or higher pile, because that's a very distinctive line, and that looks like a great feature. Unless it's an optical illusion, that looks wonderful. It's coming out so crisp, so graphic and successful. I love the color palette here. It has that kind of warm, I think of it as like a sort of warm Mediterranean palette, like the golds, the russety reds, and the inner border is more like a rusty red, and the outer border is more like a red wineberry red. Two completely different reds, but working really well together. And I'm so curious about what you're going to do with the flowers. I love how you've got a little bit of black in the center that kind of gives way to the dark gray. I mean, that is clever. That looks fantastic. And the blue background is really striking and contrasts very well with the more sort of gray blue that's in the center, the 4 points in the center. Really good. Really, really good. Oh gosh, I'm so worried. I'm so preoccupied that people tried to log on and they weren't seeing it and gave up. That makes me so sad when I make those kinds of stupid mistakes. I'm very happy that you all made it here, because we've got such pretty things to look at tonight. Melanie, thanks for starting us off with this. This is just a gorgeous thing. I'm thinking it has to be punched. Just looking at the texture of it as well, not just the height, but just the frequency of the loops. Briggs & Little yarn is fantastic. Number 3 and number 2 and number 3. I think you said 2. Yep, 2 and 3. I stock both of those. The 2 is more fine, and with a lot of punch needles, it'll go through the fine punch needle, the number 2, but not the number 3. The number 3 goes into the equivalent of a regular punch needle. Just so you know, I still love Briggs & Little the most, and I'm going to start putting out a line of roving. I don't think it's Briggs & Little, but I'm going to start putting out a line of sort of thin yarn roving, because it's like the bat that I love to hook with, but it's continuous. And I think it's a good transition for people who are like, oh, I'm interested in the bat, but I'm just not sure. The roving will be a nice sort of segue because it's nice and thick, easy to pull up, easy on your hands, very lofty. The one thing about all those, and this is not what Melanie's got going. She's got the straight Briggs and Little 100% wool 2-ply or 3-ply. But roving and stuff like that, some of the other sort of companion wool choices that you've got out there. The thing with the roving is it's very soft and it can pull out on combs more easily. So you want to think about that and be using the seal and press stuff to avoid that catastrophe. What a beautiful piece, Melanie. It really is so super charming. Make sure you send it again when you finish the flowers because we're all going to be wondering what you chose to do with the flowers. Ruth, I hope that you're on tonight. If you're not, I'm sure it's me. I think you and Richard, I think that you would want to be on because I have pieces from both of you tonight. Ruth says, Richard Hunter, my husband, got his big project done. You're going to see that in just a second. I'm sending in some pictures of it finished. The design is something he drew originally when he was in high school, if you remember this. Oh my God, I'm so tired, but I'm happy. I'm happy and tired. He decided to copy it off and put it onto his carrying bag. So it's destined to be a bag. You'll see in just a minute. We haven't sewed it together yet, but I folded it up to kind of give you the idea of how big the bag will be. He hasn't had anything of his own in gallery night before. All right, let's get in there. Ruth, so I am looking at the finished version of Joseph's coat, which is one of the roses in the rose book. So this is a sneak preview of one of the roses that you will see in the rose book when it comes out this summer. I'm putting it together now. And it's based on over 70 actual roses that have super whimsical names. And this one is called the Joseph's Coat. It is a colorful rose. It's not just like, one color. It's like many colors in there. So I did a design that looked like Joseph, like good Joseph. You know that musical? With his Technicolor Dreamcoat. And Ruth did it so well using all t-shirt material. So she's finished up with this extraordinary piece, and it really is so super successful. It's a very dynamic piece. He's kind of got his coat open, and that's it, right? That is the story of this piece. And almost like a crazy quilt patchwork, the Joseph's Coat rose is in the center of the back of the coat. So this is it could be from, I hope I'm not going to yawn the whole time. I'll have to go away if I'm going to be naughty. But oh my gosh, yeah, it was not much sleep last night. You killed it, Ruth. You killed it with this piece. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And of course, with a piece like this, you could do anything with the colors. You could even do it larger and fill in different areas with different crazy quilt motifs, right? Now, this is the piece that Ruth's talking about. This is Richard's piece. So we saw him start this piece off, and somehow I forgot that it was going to be turned into a bag. So it needed to be on both sides. This is a character that Richard drew Richard Hunter, when he was in high school. What a great memory, right? This whimsical, funny dog wearing a red beret. So sweet. And now it's being turned into a bag, and you can see what's happening here. It's going to be folded, right? It's going to be folded, I think maybe put over a bag. You could sew it like this, but then you would need a long, skinny rectangular piece to go from the bottom, right, around to the top where the bag opens. You know what I mean? One on each side. And that piece would connect two handles. You could put the handles on the side, or you could put the handles on the front and back, right, where the rug hookings are. But you can see it's the same again, but completely different, and making a two-sided bag, which I think is so clever. And it is a large bag because you can see how wide the bottom spine is on that. It will be a large bag. It's such a sweet piece, and it makes me so happy to think of Richard drawing this, years ago, and I don't know how many years ago, and I'm sure not so many, and keeping it, remembering it, and wanting to do something to honor this drawing, from other days. And I just think it's so sweet and so funny to bring it out again and to take the time to hook it. It really came out beautifully. It is a gorgeous piece. Really beautiful. And Linda Schultes Hoffman, you sent a couple things in, and I love everything you sent. This made me jealous, though. This was a great auction find. And Linda wrote, "Good morning, Deanna. I was fortunate to buy this last night at our local auction. It was so beautiful, I splurged." I think in a different email, Linda, you told me it was your birthday. And that was one of the reasons you splurged, as you should, as you should. It was 130. And yeah, it is hard. It's hard to spend. It's hard to spend in general, isn't it? But if you love the piece and it's a special day, it really inclines you, doesn't it? So this piece is 28 by 18 and a half. Very fine cut wool on burlap stretched over a frame and nailed on using old square nails. You know what that means? That means that this piece has not been on the floor, or not for long anyway. I mean, those whites are very sharp, right? They're very clean. And square nails are kind of a dead giveaway. I don't know the history of nails, but I would venture to say I don't see them manufacturing square nails anymore. The back, of course, has brighter colors than the front. It's marked Hooker's Guild LOS. Now I'm going to show you a closer up picture of that. And Linda goes on to say, "Anyway, I thought you might enjoy seeing this. I have no idea if it's an original design or a printed pattern." So let's look at this more closely. Let's look at a little, I punched the color on this a little bit. I should have done it with the first one. Sorry about that. And I think it's, oh no, this is the back. This is the back. I did punch the color, but the color is just better on the back in general. Yeah, that's a lot different, isn't it? You know, I think I punched the color on the front too. And I think that's as far as I got. I think that's as far as it would come up. So yeah, the color on the back is very vibrant. Wow, look at that. Isn't that fun? I mean, that's just what the person saw who made it, right? Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, I put the wrong photo in. Damn. I put the wrong photo in. Shoot. Linda did send me a photo. Um, ah, Shoot. I'm such an idiot. Let me see if I can find it real fast and hold it up for you. She sent a few photos. I thought I had all of them in there. Let me put in Linda, and I bet I'll be able to pull it up. It was really curious, and I'm curious about getting your opinion on this, because I'm thinking, I don't know if it's a commercial pattern, but hold on one second. Let me put in auction and then it'll come up. I don't know if it's a commercial pattern because it's a real specific house, isn't it? Not sure. Here, it's right here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there it is. Let me see if I can hold this up and make it show. First, let me save to photos, and I'm just going to flip it over for you because I want you to see the LOS, and I want you to chime in if you know anything about this, because I definitely don't, and I am so curious. Here we go. Wait a minute. Oh dear, oh dear. Why is that not working? Like, really? Why is that not working? Is this just like not my night? This is the stuff that puts me in a bad mood so fast. Okay, I'm going to show it to you sideways. Sorry about that. It doesn't want to go sideways, does it? I'm going to do it diagonally until it comes into focus. Now stay with me for a second. I know it's my phone, but it might come into focus. There we go. Now look at the bottom. It's in reverse, right? It's in reverse because it's the phone. But look how it says in reverse, Hooker's Guild, LOS. Is that a V after the S? What does that mean? Hooker's Guild. Do you think that's handwritten? Because it doesn't look handwritten to me. It looks like the ink has bled. Do you think? Hooker's Guild, LOS. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if LOS stands for something, and then it's hard to tell if the... Looks like the next letter might be an A. LOSA. What the heck is that? Does anybody have an idea? I can't think of any brands that start with LOS. It's definitely an A. I can see it. And there's, oh, uh, LOSAN. It's got to say Los Angeles. Oh my God. This is definitely printed. Is there a brand of commercial patterns that's called Hooker's Guild Los Angeles? That's got to be what this is. It's LOSAN. It's LOS little space AN. It's got to be Los Angeles. Hooker's Guild Los Angeles. We're going to have to check that out. That's going to be down the rabbit hole thing. I have never heard of that before. But it certainly looks like ink that's been printed and smudged a little bit. It does not look like an original pattern. It looks like a printed pattern. Isn't that curious? Let me come back over here. Hang on, I'm right here. Isn't that curious? Now I'm really curious. Let me know if you're watching this live or if you're watching it later. Hooker's Guild Los Angeles. Is that a thing, Karen? Have you heard of that? And if so, I wonder if they are still there. Very curious. Very curious. Honestly, that is so exciting to me because I just don't know. Do you see, this is the reverse, but do you see there's like a little tent and there's a person at the tent? Do you see that right next to the fence? It's a very unusual pattern. I mean, it strikes me as somebody's house. You know, I wonder if it's the guild building. Like, I wonder if the pattern is called Hooker's Guild Los Angeles, and it was made specifically of the building where the hookers met. Is that possible? Is that stupid? I mean, I don't know. It seems possible. I'm going to keep an eye on the thread in case any of you learn anything or come up with another great idea. But I thought, wow, that is really unusual. And moving on to Linda's pieces that Linda hooked, right? So that was her find at auction. And then she hooked some pieces that are also just amazing. Linda's style, as I always say when we look at her work, is so unusual. And it just, I don't want to say it keeps getting better and better because I always loved it. So I can't say it keeps getting better and better. But I can say that the subject matter and the style keeps changing and changing quickly. And I think that's exciting because that shows such confidence. So this is Linda's latest geometric. It is 17 by 28. It is a mix of cut wool, jersey knits, like t-shirt and sweater knits, and yarn. Oh, April, great to see you. Hello in Illinois. Great to see you. Absolutely beautiful geometric. Now, with geometrics, and this is one of the things that we were talking about today at the museum, abstracts and geometrics, right? This is such an interesting area for conversation about, I took my sweater off, I still have clothing on, about design, because when you think of it, let's play for a second. When you think of an abstract, what matters with an abstract, right? Because you know you can't expect to see a person, an animal. It's not a portrait. It's not a landscape. It's not something you're going to recognize. What does it have to do? What is it if it's not something? What is it? All it has to do is make you feel something, right? All art is supposed to make you feel something, but when you look at abstract art, it's like, how does it make you feel? That's the only thing that matters, isn't it? It's the only thing that matters. If I make a piece of abstract art, I'm going to do it right now, right? Do it with me if you have a paper with you. Let's say I'm thinking of Linda's piece there. I can't copy because I can't remember that well. I can remember text, but I can't remember images, unfortunately. So what if I did something like this, right? It has a little bit of a planetary look. What if in my mind I'm thinking, I'm going to do this. What if in my mind I'm thinking it's a vase, right? What if this is a vase, right? It's not a majolica, but maybe something like this. And maybe this is another circle under here, but I only color in this, and this is a different color, right? So this is like the bottom of the vase. And then what if I've got something like this happening, and you look at it and you think, ooh, that's weird. What is that? Cubism? What's going on there? And it's the way that I fill it in, right? The way that I fill it in matters a lot. Maybe I've got other things happening, like lines going right through where there's color shifts. who knows, right? Who knows what I add? But at the end of the day, when I finish this piece, I know that it's a flower pot with some flowers in it. And you might look at it and say, oh, that reminds me of a man selling balloons, or oh, that reminds me of I don't know, a can of olives. Like, who? I'm hungry. Who knows? But you know what I mean? And then someone else will look at it and say, oh, it looks better that way. We did this in the workshop. We were doing stuff like this and going, oh, well, that does look better. That looks like, I don't know, a motorcyclist, right? With a bunch of balloons tied on the back. Who knows? But all abstract work has to do is please you, right? It doesn't have to please anybody else. It only has to please you. And the beauty of working in an abstract style, including fiber arts and rug hooking, is that you can't make a mistake, right? It is yours. It is your own. Whatever you end up with, when you finish hooking your piece and you look at it and you say, oh yeah, I love all those colors, the shapes, everything gives me so much energy. It feels like a song, right? That's in my head, right? Maybe it feels like a different song to you. Doesn't matter, right? That's what it's supposed to do. Think about abstracts. Think about doing abstracts, because they're not only great for the wall because they're in a strange way anonymous, right? They don't steal the show typically because it's not a picture of something, right? So people are not trying to relate to it. You can just enjoy it as something that is decorative. They're also great for the floor, right? For the same reason. So, Linda, I love your geometric. You do a lot of geometrics. This one, I think, is exceptionally good. I just love all of the lines, the breakdowns of circles. I kind of see like a turtle or a lizard in the background. Do you see that? Like an eye? Do you see it like a green shape with an eye? Curious. It could also be a bus, like a lizard bus. Okay. I would call this piece Lizard Bus if I made it. But if I turned it a different way, it might be something different, right? We're probably all seeing different things. Such a lot of fun. Beautiful piece, Linda. Very well executed, and definitely your colors. You love to, you're a thrifty hooker, and you love to use clothing and yarn and things that you already have. And you definitely have a distinct color palette, which I love to see too. It's very recognizable. Beautiful spring subject, a bunny, and what a sweet bunny too. I just love the body on this bunny, right, with his big back leg. It's like he's an unusual looking bunny. He almost looks like he's jointed. He's very sweet. He's kind of turned to face us with this sweet, gentle expression. And in the background, kind of a darker blue sky, maybe heading toward evening. And the ground is black and blue with some red, patterned wools in there, blue and red, really charming. Butterflies in the sky. Could be daytime or could be getting along to night. But it's a beautiful color palette. It's very unusual. I love that it's a spring subject and turtle bus, and that it's not really spring colors. I think it's a surprise. It's like a pull the rug out, no pun intended, surprise. I love that. It's a great subject for this time of year. And it really is a sweet bunny, right? It's a sweet, sweet shape. I like how the paws are slightly different sizes too, right? He just has a great folky quality. He's very sweet looking. You would be tempted to bend down and pet him, right? And then it would be like Monty Python, wouldn't it? And another sweet rabbit from Linton Schultes Hoffman, and very, very different. This is a more, for me, serious piece. Danny said it looks like almost like an underwater. It really does, doesn't it? You're right, like the greens and stuff almost look like kelp and seaweed and stuff like that. Really fun. Although when I look in the sky, it looks like there's some lightning. You see what I mean? Ooh, bunny, run, run, rabbit, run. So cute. And this rabbit is also a similar shape, but just it feels like more serious to me. Maybe it's because it's a larger piece and it's harder to relate to this rabbit. The other rabbit I would not say is cartoony, but he did have a face with an expression. So you do tend to look and say, oh, and you clock the face. This one a bit more in silhouette, a little bit more anonymous, done with tweedy material, patterned wool. lots of different colors happening here, but again, a nighttime feel to it. I'm seeing like dark distant hills, a little bit of darkness and shadow in the ground. The sky is full of like starry night swirls, a little bit of a darker sky. Just love these colors, really different color palettes. I at this time of year, I'm seeing a lot of beautiful rugs with bunnies in light blue skies, like robin's egg blue skies. These two are very different color palettes, and always interesting to look when the colors are a little bit different. The storytelling changes, because in my mind I'm saying, bunny, if it's getting on and it's getting to be dark, you better go into your hole and hide, right? Because this is when all the dangerous characters come out. Really charming piece. Such a lot of fun. The flowers are really well done too. Such a lot of fun, and such a great sort of hit or miss quality to it. Do you know what I mean? I get the feeling like with the greenery and in the sky, Linda's like, you know what, let me just do it. It's going to come out great. Let me just do it. I'm just going to feel my way. And when you work from the heart like that, the seat of the pants, right? It's pantsy work. When you work from the seat of the pants, it creates so much energy in your piece. You can't, in my opinion, pieces that are very technical and very realistic, that's the prestige of those pieces. Those pieces are great for that reason. But when you see pieces that have a lot of energy, they are typically not the very technical pieces, right? They just don't go together. It's two different things. It's two different intentions. It's just like somebody said to me recently, I don't know if I told you yet, but somebody said, was talking about photography and a book, or some book they were reading, something like that, and said, it was a quote, and I can't remember the context. I just remember hearing this. With photography, you get, it was in church, it was in the sermon. With photography, you get realism. You get a picture of exactly how beautiful that thing was. But, and you might disagree with this statement, but you don't get emotion, right? Like as if you were painting or doing any form of art or craft, including rug hooking. With photography, you can photograph an emotional subject, but I have to say I agree with the sentiment. You don't necessarily put your emotion into it. Maybe your choice of subjects, right? You're known as like, you photograph kids who whatever, other countries, National Geographic, whatever. And then there's a lot of emotion in that. You're a war photographer. There's a lot of emotion in that. But I agree that you cannot get as much emotion into an image if you are not applying some kind of art or craft, right? You're a painter, you're a rug hooker, you're a songwriter and you're telling about it that way. You're a poet and you're describing it that way. Emotion is something that is creative. And if your piece is entirely technical, there's not as much room for creativity, right? And it's never 100% technical, is it? There's always a little room, right? And maybe you don't agree with that sentiment at all, but I loved it when I heard it, and I thought, well, that slots a lot of things into place for me in terms of the way I look at art. Um, oh, well, Kat, we started a little bit late, and I started with some photographs of my day at a museum. So you didn't miss too much. I'm very happy to see you, and there's so much more great stuff ahead. So don't you worry. And Linda, do you have one? I think, yeah, I just wanted to show that this one is a footstool, right? And this is the season, right, for finding treasures at flea markets and yard sales. You don't even have to take the cover off the footstool, right, unless you think it's gross or it has moths or whatever. But you can just wrap a piece under the footstool. If it has any kind of lip on the, going around and under, you could just staple your piece carefully under. Who is going to see that besides, well, I'm thinking of the centipede that was running across the rug earlier today that scared the bejesus out of me. The centipede might see the bottom of my footstool, but hopefully nobody else does. And yours too, right? So, yeah, it's so easy to finish footstools with rugs. And hey, if you're working on a rug right now and you're thinking, it's small, is it a pillow? What's it going to be? Maybe it's going to be a footstool, right? It's like, what's it going to be when it grows up? Think about it. You might go to a yard sale this weekend or drive by somebody having a barn sale or something, and you might see a footstool and think, dang it, that's about the size of the piece I'm almost finished. If I added a border, I think we would be there. Interesting to think about, right? It's a great idea. I do have a very long video on making a footstool. And that is one of the videos that like tons of people have watched. I can't believe it because it was really long. But it's there for you on the Ribbon Candy Hooking channel. I make a footstool for my sister. So if you have it in you to do it, that's maybe a good video to watch because it's like beginning to end. Don't watch it for fun. Watch it because you want to know how to make a footstool. Now, Myra, oh God, I was so happy when you sent this piece because Myra took the Design Like class. God, I gotta do the next one, don't I? I keep forgetting. We got to think about who the next one's going to be. It's got to be someone who really works. I had some great ideas. You know, I was thinking maybe like design like Charlie Harper. You know, Charlie Harper. Anyway, this one was the last one. It was designed like Friedensreich Huntervaser, who was an Austrian 20th century artist, one of my favorite artists, if not my very favorite. It was a great design like class. It is there for you on Ribbon in the Ribbon Candy Hooking store. It was a wonderful class because he was a wonderful man. He was a philanthropist and an architect and an artist. He was an activist. He was just an incredible human being. And he did a lot of things he made hundreds and hundreds of pieces, paintings, everything. But he made hundreds of paintings alone. And he did use the same kinds of tricks in each one. Right? He had a handful of tricks, motifs that he loved, like houses, right? Like hillsides with little fences, like lollipop trees. These were all things we talked about in class. This is Myra's own design. It is a super Huntervaser-esque design using some of his favorite motifs, including the spiral. He loved a spiral. He believed that the universe worked in a spiral, not a circle, not as Harry Chapin told us, all my life's a circle, although I love that song, a spiral. And you always said everything happens in spirals, right? Life just works like this. It's not even, right? It's not even. It's not rhythmic. It's lopsided. It's bumpy. It works more like a spiral. And you can't ever come back to the same point like you can with a circle, right? You can't do that in life. So your spiral might, and he drew spirals all the time for fun, your spiral might bring you might start in the center or you might start on the outside. Maybe you're thinking of your life moving backward and you're drawing the spiral. Teddy, are you coming to say hi? He's buttoning his shirt up. He's ready for a visit. Here, come visit.
Came out of the couch.
What? Oh, she's been hiding under the couch. Come sit with me. And then I'm going to show you Myra's piece. We've been talking about Huntervaser. There he is. There he is. That's my son right there. That little thing. He's bigger than me now. You get to be such a big boy.
I'm going to have to call you my little thing.
I know. You can call me your little thing. Let me lose a little more weight first, and then you can say that without me laughing.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're not that heavy. I've been able to pick you up before.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Every time you pick me up, you go, so maybe don't do that, and I'll believe you. Yeah, all your buddies are saying hi to you, Teddy. Hey. He's so sweet. So, Myra, so you picked out some of the best tropes that Huntervaser used. Thanks, Gail. Thanks, everybody. Such a sweetie. I know he loves his Hawaiian shirts. He loves them. You picked out some of his best tropes, some of his best motifs, but you also picked out his colors, right? You understood how his colors worked because he's teetering on primary always, but he always adds, he always has primary colors and bright colors. He was a happy person. He also made his own clothes. He made his own shoes for winter and summer. Exceptionally eccentric, but kind-hearted and intelligent person. Friedensreich Huntervaser. You really, if you don't know him, you should look him up. Or by the Design Like class. It's there for you and you do the whole thing from beginning to end. It's a lot of fun. And if you can come up with a composition like Myra has here, it's I know, his voice has changed a lot, hasn't it, Melissa? God, stop. Yeah, it's fun to look at artists and to say, well, what did they do that was so iconic and recognizable? Why do I look at this? You know, I mean, I know I taught the class, but when I looked at it, the first thing I thought was, it's like a Huntervaser, and then I thought, oh, I bet it's one of the people who took the Huntervaser class. And sure enough, it is. We could do a class like Andy Warhol. You know, I worry with, there's a couple things I worry about with Andy Warhol. One of them is that I worry that people know a lot about him personally because he was quite unlikable as a human being, kind of the opposite of Huntervaser. So I worry about that just in terms of relating to him and embracing him and his work. And I worry about his I worry about pop art as a genre because the tricks are like the low hanging fruit, right? Just like repeating blocks, switching out color. Um, I'll think about it though. I'll think about it. I don't dislike Warhol. I don't particularly love when I hear a new story about him. It's usually in my mind quite negative. But he did do a lot, like Picasso, same thing. Also quite negative for me in terms, if it's hard for me to love someone's art if I don't feel like I love them. And maybe, other people can separate that. But for me, it's like I can respect and be inspired by art, but I don't really fall in love with the paintings if I haven't fallen in love with the person. Picasso. But like Picasso, Warhol was an excellent artist outside of pop art, outside of collage, outside of photography. Like all of those artists, like Lichtenstein too, they were incredible artists, fine artists, and yeah, it was just another interesting movement. I could do pop art as a design like and include Andy Warhol because then that would allow me to talk about other artists who were part of the pop art movement who did slightly different work because I feel like if I'm talking about Warhol, I feel like I'm going to show you the the greatest hits of, and you're going to say, got it, and we're going to be done in 15 minutes. Not that I think like his stamp on the art world is insignificant. I think it's hugely significant. Um, Let me think about that. I think we could do kind of a fusion. Daniela, great to see you. Always welcome. Always super welcome. Zeros, Madison from Mississippi. Excited to see you too and everyone's beautiful work. Great to see you. Karen, I'm going to think about it. Pop art genre would be, I think, good. Because there's a lot of artists in there who are also kind of unknowns, and I love to present unknowns too because sometimes the people who are the unknowns in the art world, and this is for sure, right? This is for sure. This is not my opinion. They are typically people who, if you haven't heard of them, they didn't have a good agent. They weren't lucky, right? They didn't have money to hire a good agent. They weren't lucky. It doesn't mean that everyone who's ever done art is good, but it does mean, like, for example, Georgia O'Keeffe, if you did the design like women expressionists with me, it included Agnes Pelton, Hilma af Klint, and Helen Frankenthaler, the three of them. And I thought that was a great design. Like, I really enjoyed that one. But I presented Agnes Pelton because she knew Georgia O'Keeffe, lived at almost exactly the same timeline. I personally find Pelton's work way more interesting, mystical, magical, thoughtful. It appeals to me personally more. And although she was on the same track as Georgia O'Keeffe, Georgia met her husband, who was a famous photographer, very, very wealthy, in art sets, right, in New York City. And Agnes was living in a windmill, and then was kind of evicted when the windmill was sold. I think that was like I want to say like New Jersey, that kind of thing, and then went out west to, gosh, where was it? It was like desert landscape. I forget what state it was, but she's known as a transcendental desert artist, right? Point is, she did very similar work to Georgia O'Keeffe, but she never had the money to have the agent to get her the places. She never married. She had female partners. She never married a man with lots of money, right? Because the women are the sort of nurturers pushing everybody forward with their art, but it's the men who are doing the funding at this point in history. So when we talk about people who you think of as like, well, that person's not as famous as that person, they mustn't be as good. They probably are as good, right? If we still say their name at all, they're probably just as good, if not better, but they were less lucky. And that's just how life is, isn't it? It's just how life is. Van Gogh, right? That's all I have to say. Just two words, Van Gogh, right? Interesting. Whitney, great to see you. Oh, you're having some storms. Glad to join tonight. Me too. Thank you. I always pick up these kinds of necklaces when oh no, I thought I was missing a stone. No, it's there. Green screen. Yeah, I always pick them up when I find them because when I get them used, like they're like $10 or $20 because new they're really expensive. But I love having all these colors. Thank you for noticing. I love blinging it out. Anyway, um, Myra, you did a fantastic job with this. Because I know what we talked about in that class. We talked about a lot of different motifs, so I can see which motifs you chose. And that's interesting for me because these are the ones that spoke to you too. And you have one of his characters in the front, just the way that he drew his character, always the same. Always a little hat, like some kind of a funny hat, round face, not much going on with features. Myra, you did such a beautiful job. Um, you said you love the bright colors. You're making this into a pillow. It looks like it might be a pillow here. That's a great idea for this. You ordered, yep, the Huntervaser design. Um, and will also become a pillow. Oh, okay, great, great, great. Yep, I remember. I just made that the other day. And you said you're using some wools, yarns, and sari silk. Great things to use. Lots of different texture. God knows, with his painting, he tried everything. He would have been all for using everything, plus the kitchen sink, right? What a character. Beautiful job, Myra. Absolutely beautiful. And doesn't it feel great to do a design of your own and to be like, it really worked. Like the conversation about putting these things together, it works as a composition. You got it. It's a great job. I'm so happy that you did it. I'm so happy you sent it in. Thank you so much. Jessica, great to see you tonight. Hello, Deanna and group. We have been extra busy with end of school projects. We built a wait a minute, let me come to you first. We built a rainforest / sloth diorama, as you do. That was pretty Pinterest worthy, if I do say so myself. But here is a project I started this week. When I joined Ribbon Candy's Hooking's Patreon group, I was inspired by one of Deanna's free patterns. Thank you, Patreon supporters, by the way. Always, always extra thank yous. And I have to say it. I have to say, I would not still be doing this if Patreon supporters weren't there because it is tough, especially right now. Things are way down. Thank you, Patreon supporters. Thank you, Jessica. So I did put out some fabric swatches, and Jessica's reminding me that we were looking during coffee time at some swatches in a dye book, right? Little swatches of wool. And from a distance, I think Karen was the first to say they look like little ball gowns. And then everyone said, oh, I can see it. They do look like little ball gowns. Well, Jessica took it a step further. She said, I saw them as dresses and I drew faces and arms on them, making 12 dancing princesses. I kept them in a grid because I liked the pop art. There we go. There we go. The pop art feel to it. And I added, I feel better when I'm dancing. I love that song too. A song from my 7-year-old's school concert, also from the Snoopy movie. He absolutely cracked us all up with his dance moves. He's this enthusiastic, tiny, wiry ball of energy with big glasses and hair sticking up straight out of Little Rascals. Oh, that is so fun. You always have great family ties to all of the work that you do. That's my favorite thing. Danielle, great to see you. Oh, Danielle, I said hi. Hello again, my love. Kirsten. Okay, I knew somebody new joined. Great to see you. Happy Friday. This is a great idea. This is what, if you can see on top, the printout of 9 dresses, right? It's the same thing repeated. It was just, don't imagine it without the people. It was the swatches. And I put that out there for Patreon members in case you wanted to fool around with it too and do something just like this. Jessica went running with this. Added some more characters, right? More is definitely better. Added heads and arms and always hello. Oh, that's so sweet. So they were doing their own dances, right? I mean, what a great idea. Now you've got 12 characters and all of this beautiful material. Recently, Jessica writes, our local thrift shop has been an absolute treasure trove of wool, yarn, and quilting fabrics. I think I've quadrupled my yarn stash, and there's still plenty there. I will be hooking with a lot more yarn. I am not a quilter, but there was a bag of beautiful fabric scraps, and I couldn't pass it up. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't see it there. I see your wool Oh, I think I see pantyhose. Are those pantyhose in that smaller bag? Dyed pantyhose. Couldn't pass it up. And I'm appliquing them on for the girls' gowns. I love the bright and fun colors, and my kids love it so far. My daughter has really said she wants it hanging in her room. Thank you. I hope you are all enjoying the spring sunshine. So I got to show you. Are you ready? You can see it's in the hoop in this picture. You see it behind in the hoop. And this is Jessica working on it. And all of those materials, right? And do you see how she's using that found quilt stash to kind of applique on the dresses? They're exactly the same shape. She's got them pinched on top, and then they kind of fan out at the bottom like a tassel. Are you ready? What a piece. Holy mackerel. I mean, is that so fun? This is so fun. I particularly love, I love all of them, but I love on the right-hand side with the pink background, I love the girl with the blue skin tone. She really stood out to me, that color blue. I said, like, it's like Polynesian punch blue. She really stood out because it reminded me that with a repeat piece like this, right? This, we're talking about Andy Warhol now, weirdly, pop art, repeating the same image from one frame to the next to make a composition of multiples, right? That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. Doing something with multiples is always going to be such a strong composition and such a successful composition. And what a lot of fun adding the quilt material, right? How fun is that? Everybody's, I'm reading all the comments, everybody's loving it. Lots of great characters. The one from behind too is funny. With the red backing on the left. It's just such a fun piece. Great idea. Lots of found materials. Lots of thrift store hits here being represented, and the backgrounds look like they're yarn. You got all those beautiful yarns. They go really well together. Sometimes when we're finding stashes in charity situations, you want to buy stuff because you're like, hey, Joss, a hoarder, right? If you're like me, you're like a terrible hoarder. But sometimes I look at what I've got and I think, all right, I like those yarns, but I would never use them together because they're not my colors. These are the colors that you found and you used like all of them and they look amazing. Like they look, hey, you want to come say hi? Joss is coming over. First, I have to show you this piece that my friend Jessica did. Isn't that gorgeous? Remember the song from Snoopy? I feel better when I'm dancing. Remember? Here she is. Joss coming to say hi too. You got both of them tonight. Did you have, it was kids night?
Kids night out.
Kids night out. You want to show us one of your masks?
It's supposed to be a school thing where there's no adults, but there were so many teachers. There was like 7 in every room.
I guess there have to be teachers, right? Because you guys could like set the school on fire or something if you wanted to.
But like in the hallways maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, fouling up the hallway, right? Befouling everything.
What is my boy?
Look.
Hello, Josh. Is it true? One of my classmates,
What happened?
One of my classmates apparently went on
I
your
know
stream.
it, right, Danielle? She saw your bruise. Let me see it. Come on, let me see.
I can't see it.
Where'd it go? I know. I saw that in the car the other day. I thought, oh my God, they're going to think we're like abusing her. There it is. It's right there. You fell out of the jungle gym?
No, I don't think that's how I got it, because I landed straight on my back, not my arm.
Well, how do you think you got it?
I don't know.
It looks awful, doesn't it? It looked like I would never do. No.
My friend, one of my...
Nobody grabbed you at school or anything, right?
No, but one of my classmates apparently went on the chat and said, I am Edwin Manton, and blah, blah, blah. I don't remember the rest.
On this chat?
Yeah, apparently. Or it might have been in your comments.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Did you see a comment that said, I am Edwin Manton, blah, blah, blah?
I did not see a comment that said, I am Edwin Manton. Oh, was it Edwin?
No, it was Rug.
Oh, my
I don't know why
God.
I
You
said
guys.
It was yesterday.
I know. She's growing up. You are so dirty right now. I can't believe it. Here. You are just covered with dirt. Like you've got dirt all over your face. What were you doing? What were you doing?
Let me see.
It's like black. Were you cleaning chimneys?
You turned off the green screen. Did you?
There's no green screen. Okay, go. I gotta finish the show. You want to finish saying hi to everybody?
Hi.
All right. If you can come back and say hi if you put a mask on. Let's see. Okay, go. No, you can go look in the mirror and do that just as well. All righty. No, it looked awful. It scared me when I saw that bruise. I was like, oh my God, because I thought maybe a teacher like grabbed her around the arm. But she said no, and I think she would tell me. Ay, 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 ay. Haha. I don't need any reasons to go punch faces, I'll tell you. It would take nothing these days for me to go in there and do something bad. All right. So, Jessica, this piece is extraordinary, and I love how you went from the simple design of just the drawn swatches, the little ball gowns, to this story song piece, right, with text. You always put text in. It's just an extraordinary piece. It's such a lot of fun. It's so colorful. It's a great reminder of how, I mean, she's starting with basically one little drawing like this, right? One little drawing. This is what it was. I'm going to draw it. If you weren't here for that episode, get a piece of paper and a pen, and it was just like this. This is all it was. The little wool swatches like this. Oh, I already screwed it up. It was more. How many were there? Like 8? I think I'm going to have to add another one here. It was more bouncy like that. They matched up perfectly, but it looked like a piece of what's that? Bow tie pasta. It looked like a piece of bow tie pasta with lines through it, right? That's all it was. And I did a repeat of 9 of them, and Jessica brought it to 12 and then added all the rest, right? Bob's your uncle. Fantastic. Really well done. Really, really well done. Super impressive. I love it, Jessica. I just about fell off the back of the chair and broke the rungs when I saw that. And Jessica, another beautiful piece from Evie, your daughter. And I got to meet Evie recently too. What a sweetheart. This beautiful punched piece, right? So she's punching this into some kind of a woven, and it's working great with yarn. That looks like a vintage punch, maybe like, I don't know if it's a Phoenix or one of those, but you know, any punch that you find when you're out and about, just grab it. The vintage punches work great too. I know that the Oxford is the Rolls Royce of punches, and it is, and I have it, and I have many of them, and they're great. But I still love picking up other punches because they all work differently. And just like with sewing machines, I feel like some of them are good for some backings and others for others, you know. And this is the back of the piece. Evie did a great job. She did a great job. I mean, this is dedication here. Absolutely beautiful. She is such a cherub. Such a sweet girl. Oh, I do like the backing fabric. That is really pretty. Now, I wonder if you're going to make that into a pillow, because it would be great to see the backing fabric, unless she's turning it into a hanging and making more, because that would also be really pretty to stretch over a stretcher frame, wouldn't it? She is a little doll. Just absolutely love her. Please say hello and give a hug from me. And Elizabeth Bennett, Beth. This is another one I was like, wow. Okay, wow. So Beth wrote and said, "Hi, Deanna. Thanks so much for your Connecticut Fiber Fest video. I loved watching it on a rainy Saturday, though I couldn't get there. It was the next best thing. It was fun, and it was rainy. Here is a 13 by 24 mini rug I just finished. If it would be good for gallery night, I'd be thrilled. Oh my God, if it would be good for gallery night. Look at it. Come on. I started with the idea of a self-portrait pillow, but quickly lost interest after the head and neck. So I whacked the linen in half and just started adding things I like. The pear and the palms from a long ago time living near Diamond Head in Waikiki. Then I tried to tie everything together with circles. Ooh, some overt and others a little more substructure. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yep, I'm looking. I see what you mean. Okay, let's talk about that in just a second. I want to talk about composition in just a second, but let's just finish. No color planning. This is pantsy hooking. Just grabbing existing strips, mostly number 3 cuts, from the innumerable bins around here. The moon has some of Diane's velvet. That's Diane Tobias Collins, right? The velvet hook. Keep up the good work, and thank you so much for letting me tag along. That is so sweet. Let's look at this piece. This is extraordinary. This is another great piece. I was lucky to meet Beth at the book party in the fall. We will have another book party this year for sure. She did the Klimt's Highway to Halloween piece, and she did the mourning witch, like under a weeping willow with a gravestone. Two exceptional pieces. And I mean, those two pieces were two, I think, of Beth's early pieces, and she didn't like them. And I thought they were extraordinary. And Beth, your work continues to be extraordinary, like extraordinary. I love so much about this. I love the figure. I love the face. I love the sort of reflective, thoughtful, meditative expression. I just love the way the curls hang down. It's just beautiful. That deep shadow under the chin, the deep shadows on the eyes. It's outrageously good. It is obscenely good. And I love that you tied in your life in Waikiki, and you've got the palm tree shapes. You've got a pear. You just were thinking of things and adding them. I think the landscape maybe is also from that time living there. It looks like a bit of a volcanic landscape, night sky, and you've got circles in there. And you're playing with circles. Now, most of the circles are noticeable because they're in white. And one of the circles is masquerading as a moon, which is extremely clever, extremely clever. And the others are like vehicles so that the palm trees can silhouette against them. So clever. And I love in both instances where I'm seeing the shore, do you see the waves hitting the shore, how with a little bit of white separating each wave, the water changes colors quite distinctly. And I think that's extraordinary. The substructure, and that's a great way of putting it, the substructure circles are the island bits. So the island to the right of her face, right, where you see the beach, that's a circle too. It's just a beach circle, right? So it doesn't immediately read as a circle, but it is a circle. And then on over her right shoulder, on our far left, that's another circle, right, that is holding the beach. It's a partial circle. So interesting because you've got a lot of rounds, right? You've got circles, but you've also got a lot of rounds. This is absolutely brilliant as a composition. It has a dreamlike quality. I'm telling you, almost every dream I have, that was not a fart, that was the bench. I was pulling myself in there. Almost every dream I have is crazy and sometimes scary, but just unsettling because this, to me, I could easily be dreaming I was lying on a desert island and a giant pear started to come at me. And yeah, and that dream would last, 7 hours and bring me right to an exhausted morning. But it has that dreamlike quality. It has the quality of it reminds me of sci-fi paperbacks, right? Like from the 1950s, 1960s, you know what I mean? With like a beautiful woman and like this spacey landscape. Karen says, this reminds me of an Egyptian sand sculpture with a pyramid in the background. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, interesting. And Sharon says, beautiful detail in the face. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And I love that she added a little bit of red, right, in the hair, also in the palm tree, also in the pear, because it was all very cool colors. It needed some warmer colors. And the warm colors really balance it out. It is so mystic and wild. It's so unusual. I mean, this is a piece you don't forget. If somebody says to you in 10 years, God, do you ever remember seeing a portrait of a woman and it's like there's this island background with these kind of orbs with palm trees and there's a pear, it's a starry night. You're going to say, I've seen that, right? You're not going to say, oh, I don't know, that doesn't sound familiar. You're going to say, I've seen that. It's just extraordinary. It's an extraordinary piece. And the thing about a piece like this, it's like lightning in a jar, isn't it? That's exactly what it is, because if you sit down to do a composition like this, it might turn out to be your lightning in a jar, but it might turn out to be fussy because you overplanned it. Compositions like this really benefit from the storytelling, right? Really benefit from spontaneity. And there is no substitute for spontaneity, pantsy hooking. Just having the confidence to say, you know what, I'm going to leave that circle blank. Oh my God, wait a minute, it looks like a moon, right? That's going to read as a moon. It takes confidence to do that. And you have to trust yourself that you will add things where you feel it's flat and boring and empty. And you have to trust yourself that you're going to stop when you feel like you're overdoing it. Just trust your own instincts. Stop second guessing yourself and thinking about what teachers have said. You know, you could bring a piece like this that you're working on to 10 different teachers because you have a bunch of classes lined up, and they'd probably all say different things. And nothing against teachers, because I'm one. But at the end of the day, only you know what you mean. And a teacher can help you set it out pretty. But in terms of the storytelling, that has to be you in an original piece like this. It's an exceptional piece. It really is an exceptional piece. The hooking is extraordinary. Beth, so well done. It's crazy. Valerie, you all sent some great work, and it's so different. Give me just a second. Let me take a quick sip of water. I just haven't been drinking alcohol lately, so next time I do, I'm gonna get all loopy. I'll look forward to that. I'm thirsty. This lamp is so hot. Valerie, you sent some beautiful, very festive pieces in. Cha cha cha. Mardi Gras is in February, right? Is that right? I've been to New Orleans several times, but never during Mardi Gras. I just don't like I don't like that kind of a scene personally. But I do want to go before I die. It looks like, I guess it's on my bucket list, and I don't have much of a bucket list. It looks like fun, I gotta say. It looks like fun. I gotta get to the point where I don't get so triggered by noise and things around me. That might not happen, because it looks like festive as anything, doesn't it? Super celebratory piece. Valerie writes, "Hi, Deanna, and all your helpers." Shannon, "One of my daughters lives in Louisiana. She belongs to a parade dance troupe, the Manda Milkshakers." Ooh, that is a great name. That is so fun. Every fall they have a fundraiser ball and a silent auction. She asked me to hook some pillows to donate. I had fun designing and embellishing these 2 pillows hooked on burlap with mostly thrifted wool sweaters. Thanks for all you share with our rug hooking community. Oh, thanks, Valerie. Valerie, that is so fun. Perfect. It's so nice that she thought to ask you to make stuff, right? I mean, perfect. And you're going to make stuff that is going to be just right for the place, for Louisiana. This is what they want, isn't it? I hope that, I don't know if the auction happened yet. I hope they did well. I hope there was a bitter battle over these 2 pillows, because they are exceptional. Talk about Andy Warhol again, right? This is like a pop art composition. Well done. It's funny because he does creep into our lives every day, without a doubt. It is that kind of composition with multiples where it's broken into 4, and it is like a repeat pattern, but in this case, each mask is a little bit different, which gives such great variety. I love how you hooked with clothing that you had. In the center, you put the fleur-de-lis, the French fleur-de-lis, which I think is the symbol of Louisiana. And you used, it looks like t-shirt material. It might be hooked with t-shirt material. Use t-shirt material to make the fringe. I think that's fantastic. We hardly ever think about using t-shirt material for high pile rugs like latch rugs, or as fringe. And it really gives a completely different effect, doesn't it? I think that is so charming. Such a lot of fun. And the little strings hanging down on the green mask. Such a lot of fun. I can't imagine, and this is the back of that piece, so very tidy. I can't imagine that this wasn't like the most desirable item, right? I mean, if I were there, not just because I'm a hooker, but what a fun thing to have around. If you live there and you're one of the Manda Milkshakers, right? You need these pillows. Like, you absolutely need them. This is gorgeous as well. Mardi Gras, y'all. That is so perfect, and it's got some humor. It has that beautiful harlequin background. I love the dit dots in between the diamonds. Man, these colors are great. These colors are so rich. Olive, pea green, pea soup kind of green, the pine green, the dusty rose, and then the brighter colors, right? Like the tropical light blues, the sea blue. Man, it's perfect. Yellow is such a good text color against multis. It's better than white. It really is, because it keeps things. If you ever try to put text over a photo or something, you already know this. Yellow is much stronger than white. It just stands out. That's yellow highlighters, right? There's a reason for that. Mardi Gras, y'all, looks so fun. And I like that it's different because in theory, somebody could be bidding on both, right? It's like the perfect pair, and even the way that the fringe is done is different. This one has tassels on the corner instead of fringe. It is so super charming. You know, I want to hear the part, Valerie, about how your daughter was so proud that you made these and how they were the best thing in the auction, which obviously we know they were. I hope that people were like breaking chairs over each other's heads to win these. Not really, but sort of. I mean, kind of. Absolutely beautiful, Valerie. I absolutely love them. They are both such a lot of fun. And we are changing gears here. See, I love on the gallery night episodes, we just keep switching gears. It's like, it's so much fun, right? So Pam Hunt. Pam writes, oh, wait a minute. Let me come here first. Pam writes, hope I'm not too late. No. As long as I'm here 5 minutes before the show goes on, I always put stuff in, and it was nothing like that late. You sent it days ago. I know it's not a rug or a punch needle, but I'm between rugs with my crafting. This little piece is going to be a somewhat long-term project, and I will work on it from time to time, but I've been wanting to get started on it before beginning to immerse myself in the next large rug that I'm planning. The pattern is called the Lucy Boston Patchwork of the Crosses, and it is made using the English paper piecing technique, EPP. It's my favorite quilting technique. It's all hand sewn, no machine stitching, although some people will do their stitching on a sewing machine. There is no right or wrong. The hand stitching is my favorite part because it's really meditative to me. All the pieces in the quilt, I'm going to show you some pictures. All the pieces in the quilt are 1 inch in size. Whoa. I am using 4 paper pieces in this pattern, an elongated honeycomb, a rectangle, a 2-inch square, and a 1-inch square. The original was made by Lucy Boston in the 1950s when she was in her 60s. Let me show you some pictures so we can start imagining. So I think this must be Lucy Boston's quilt. Wow. So it's only made with those 4 pieces, right? 4 paper pieces. So it's like going to be like a replica quilt, or at least part of it. That is absolutely wild. So, okay, I see what you mean. I see what you mean by the elongated honeycomb. Yep, it's like a hexagon. Is it a hexagon? That is stretched out a little bit. I see, said the blind man. Oh, and all of the dimensions are 1 inch. Okay. Interesting. But they can't be 1 inch, right? Or can they? Because if they were all 1 inch, would it be... Oh, of course it can be, because there's fewer sides, right? There's only 2 sides on the on east and west. Interesting. I see. Okay, I'm getting it. Okay. Okay, you see how that's what all of these little pieces are, except in the middle, right? Except in the middle. Oh no, in the middle it's 4 put together, isn't it? Let me keep reading. You can use scraps you already have, or you can use sets of fabric like I'm doing. Mine are the William Morris by Moda Fabrics. They're great, from the Victoria and Albert Museum collection. Some people fussy cut their pieces so that there is a definite mirroring pattern throughout the block. That's pretty labor intensive, and I haven't done that. I've seen blocks that use bright colored fabrics and the reproduction Civil War era fabrics, as well as metallics, florals, 1950s, solids, and whatever one could think to put into a quilt. The blocks look great set as a square, but also work well when set on point. Ah, yep. Oh, I see. They would fit right into each other, wouldn't they? But you would need the diamonds in the center. Or, no, you would just need more of the stretched hexes, right? Because would they fit? No, they wouldn't fit because the sides are different than the top and bottom. Interesting. Let me see. Let me go come back. I've attached a photo. Yep, that was Lucy Boston's coverlet first. What a paper piece looks like, and 6 of my set blocks, and my first block with inserts. Okay, so I think there's one more. Let's look. Wow. Okay, I see. Okay, so yes, the sides do have to have the inserts. They do have to have the squares, of course, because those are the we talked about it. I'm sorry, I'm figuring it out loud, and it's boring, but my brain got there in the end. This is an exceptional project. I'm so happy to see this. I know a lot of us are quilters as well. I was always a quilter for years, and now I'm just more of a rug person because of time. But I love talking about quilting and looking at quilting because it's our sister craft. It is so, so beautiful and so much fun. What an extraordinary project. And I agree. I agree with Pam that, both crafts are very meditative. And you're doing a lot of repetition. You're doing small things with your hands. It's thoughtful work, but it's not work it's repetitive work. And it's still very creative, right? And you're not giving up either the sort of rhythm, right, where your brain can work while your hands are working, or the creativity. They both crafts work great for both of those things. Pam, this is an extraordinary piece. What an undertaking. And thank you for introducing us to the Lucy Boston quilt. I would never have thought that quilt was made in the 1950s. With the photograph, I would, but I would say, did people in the 50s make stuff that big? Apparently so. I always think it's Victorians and people earlier in the late 18th and early 19th century that were making these enormous pieces. There's people in the 20th century too, apparently, because Lucy Boston did. Beautiful, Pam. Thank you so much. Really exceptional. Karen. Oh, April says, beautiful work, Pam. Cannot wait to see it finished. I know it, right? Me too. Speaking of which, Karen, now you're making this piece for one of your kids, right? This is that enormous, very busy piece. And we first saw it. You hadn't started it. We just looked at it and said, oh my God. And you're a very fast worker. You are well on your way. Yes, you're making it for your son. Karen writes, this first photo is the progress I've made on my 42 by 72 inch rug I'm making for my son. I'm using 3 cuts. Whoa. Sorry, my eyes are wow. Okay. You're using 3 cuts on this Jane McGowan Flynn pattern called Cashmere. And it's like a joke on the word cashmere. C-A-C-H-E, like cachet, mere, M-I-R-E-S. Beautiful pattern. So this must be a honey beehive pattern. Absolutely beautiful. This is, look at those lines. I mean, can you see them? Or do you need to put different glasses on? Because I need to put different glasses on to see those lines. It is a very busy composition. You are the woman to do it. I can't wait to see. Keep showing progress on this because it is just, wow. It's an extraordinary piece. Absolutely hypnotizing. Danielle, that's a perfect way to say it. It is hypnotizing. But once it's done, it is going to look busy as all hell, but in the most harmonic and beautiful way, right? It's going to be so cohesive and busy in the way that, Asian Oriental rugs are. But I think this is going to be easier to read because you're using very gentle colors. Sometimes when I look at rugs that have a busy design like this, loomed rugs, sometimes because of the similar color palettes, like the classic color palettes, my brain just checks out, With this rug, you're really picking out the motifs with really unusual colors. And I suspect even as it grows and becomes more busy, I suspect it's going to continue to be equally, I'm going to use Danielle's word, hypnotic because of the colors. It's unexpected, right? It's like one of the rugs we saw at the beginning of the show that was, it was one of Linda Schultes Hoffman's. When you see like a spring subject and it's done in different colors, it surprises you. Same thing with this. It's like an oriental carpet, but we're seeing very different colors, and it is surprising. It is so charming in this color palette. I can't wait to see more. But you can't work on it all the time. I mean, that would be you know, your eyes would like permanently cross. You're working on this at the same time. This is a challenge piece where you need to include at least 6 unusual items or fibers. Interesting. So far, I'm including beads, buttons, quilting, silk ribbon, and a piece of wood, and a zipper. The branch is my tree. Okay, I see. Yep. Oh, that's working perfectly. The branch is your tree. Hold on, I lost track of where we were here. And I'll be using a zipper for the chain. For the oh yeah, for the swing, for the tree swing. You're going to use the zipper for that. Okay, that's going to work great. The footbridge posts have a bead on top of each. I see the little footbridge down at the bottom. There are a couple of buttons on top of the little mini quilt. Yes, the piece of watermelon and the picnic basket. And I use silk ribbon to hook the little girl's dress. Oh, come on. Any thoughts on how to attach the stick for the tree and how to get the zipper to lay over the branch and be secured? Thanks for any help. Okay. Okay, so the thing about this zipper is going to be even when, I remember this, who did for Tigger Niagara Falls, who did the presentation on different, oh, wait a minute, using different, Chris McDermott, wasn't it Chris McDermott? On using zippers in rug hooking. And I remember, so that maybe is something that you can still pull up from the last Tigger, Karen, because that was one of the evening things. I didn't stay for all of them because I was exhausted. That was the night I walked into the kitchen by accident and made all kinds of noise and light and everything else. I was so embarrassed, but I did catch the part with the zippers. And I remember her saying, you know, different zippers, different sizes, but also when you separate the zipper, like you separate its teeth, you can cut down the twill or the tape that the zipper teeth are attached to and have hardly any fabric be there. And you will still have fabric. Like you could leave just a little bit of fabric on, just a tiny bit of fabric on. And then what you could do is sew it on like this. I mean, open to other ideas, obviously, but you could either, let's say, I'm going to come here for a second. Let's say tiny little teeth, right? Let's say the teeth are on this side. You could cut it really thin and then just sew it on here. And your loops next to it are going to hide that little bit of sewing without a doubt. Or you could just have like the one little hair with hardly any fabric showing, and then you could, wait a minute, I got to do it over here. You could stitch it like this. You see what I mean? In between the teeth. So it's just like the tiniest stitch. If you've got all metal, just metal and what they're holding on to, if you just, remember how she said she sometimes, if she used the teeth of a zipper, she said sometimes she would, if she had like 2 teeth of the zipper left over, like this much, she would save it because she said, I mean, I think we all have this in us, right? The beast is in us. What if you need those 2 teeth for something at some point? And it's true, because as soon as you throw them out, you're going to be like, oh, I'm hooking a purse and I wish I just had like 2 zipper teeth for the clasp kind of thing, you know, the things that go like this to open. You know what's going to happen. It's Murphy's Law, right? He's very busy. He's always busy. So it might be good to check back on that video, that content. There was also a written periodical about that. That's going to help a lot. As far as with the tree, I don't know. But I do know that in one of Judy Taylor's books about, it was another artist she was covering, borders, boundaries, borders, something borders. Do you know the one I mean? It's a book about all uneven borders. And one of the things the woman does the most in that book is couching. She does a ton with super 3-dimensional trees that is actually cording, like upholstery cording. And what she does is that punch trick that Rebecca Martin White showed us, where she literally punches it side to side like this with a punch needle and secures it down that way. So that would be a possibility. Um, I mean, of course you could sew it down, but this might be interesting too. And when you see the cording done in this way, couching it, um, it's completely hidden, but that's because the base of it is this white fluff cord, right, that nobody wants to see. But your base is a tree. So it might be that you want to do the same technique, right, with punching or hooking, right? You can lock it with hooking too. But you might want to spread your sort of stitches out more so that you can still see the tree part, because what you're using is a real tree, and it's not ugly like a piece of cord, like an unfinished good, you know. Um, those are my first two thoughts when I think of the question you're posing. But I'm sure there's better thoughts out there. Um, Regardless, this is such a fun piece, and I love challenges like this. It really makes you think, doesn't it? But it looks like you're if this were a scavenger hunt, you'd be winning. Like you've got almost all your stuff laid out already. You're doing a great job. Now, what's your plan for hooking around the tree? Do you think you're going to hook first and then like cushion it in there so that there's no background showing? Of course, if you do the technique with the punch needle or with a hook where you're basically couching it down onto the backing, um, you could really control how much you see with that technique as well. So you would be able to hide quite a bit with that technique. The bridge is very nice with the beads on top. Absolutely beautiful, Karen. You've got two very different projects going on right now, and they are both beautiful. Really well done. Melissa, you sent something fun as well. I was so happy to have something from you. Melissa writes, hi, Deanna and friends. This rug came to me from an older lady in my community. See, this does not look like your style at all, so I'm not surprised. I hadn't read it yet. This does not look like you at all. Her sister had passed away, leaving this unfinished rug as well as wool fabric, a few patterns. Well, you know the story. Today in the sunshine, I finished her rug with a good press and a fresh backing. Right now, I am enjoying it on my dining room table. Oh, look at that. It is all recycled wool hooking in very narrow strips. The pattern is a very old Dion Fitzpatrick one. Really? Oh, I would have never guessed that. That'd be the one name I would never guess. I love the cow and the chickens. Take care always. Oh, Melissa, sending you lots of love. It's so beautiful. I wonder what parts. So it was unfinished when she gave it to you? Is this unfinished rug? Because it looks finished here. You must have finished it up. It is so pretty. It is so pretty. I love the wild sort of hit or miss ground to it. And then let me see, did you send another? Oh, you sent a picture of the back. Okay, so it is nice on the table, almost like a runner or like a placemat on the table, because you've got a beautiful back on that. Oh, interesting. Little close up here. Yeah, I'm loving the pattern and the faces of the animals all facing toward us, right? Like they're interested in us, right, as the viewer looking at the composition. Making contact with us that way. I love the green hills in the background and the red fence posts. It is very well done. And it's busy, right? It's busy down on the ground. So the chickens could be really badly lost, but because they're the patterned wool, I think they stand out a lot. I'll go back to the main photo, but not a lot of it is patterned wool. So seeing patterned wool in it, it really draws your eye. Let me go back one more. Dion Fitzpatrick pattern. I can't get over that. That is really something, isn't it? I'm seeing some clouds in the sky. It is such a pretty piece. And what a beautiful thing that the neighbor brought it over. Oh, an older lady from the community. Oh, that is so sweet. Oh, I just love it. Sorry, I'm just looking at it as we sit. Such a fun piece. And I wonder, did you know the lady, or you just know the woman who brought it over to you? it feels like such a nice service to finish stuff up, for people who aren't here anymore or aren't able to finish pieces up. It's a funny piece. It's funny to me how the faces are looking at us, but the three little chickens are like facing in other directions. Like they're not engaged, right? They're not interested in the human. They're busy, busy, busy with their own things. It has a slight Maud Lewis quality to it, doesn't it? Particularly the distant hills and the fence. That's about it, right? That's about it for Maud Lewis, but just the shapes and the colors as well. Very, it seems like a Canadian rug to me, color-wise. It's a beautiful piece. I'm so glad that you did that. I'm so glad that you finished it. And it's nice that it's sitting on the table right now because you can enjoy it there. It is a beautiful piece. So glad you finished that for her. That is really so sweet. Gosh. And it's so nice because you're so busy with your own pieces. You do so much work that you would take the time to do something that was not finished by someone who had passed away is so nice. It's just right, isn't it? It feels right and you feel good. Absolutely love it. Now, this is a very different piece. This is a beautiful example of using up your materials, right? This piece is by Lorna Vogel, and she says, I wanted to use up yarn that I already had in my stash, so I designed this rug, and it's 30 by 30, and she just hooked it up. Well, this is further confirmation and proof that you can do a hit or miss rug with what you've got. Now, yes, there are some repeat colors here, and that is helping the composition be strong. But you know what this is? It's another Andy Warhol, isn't it? It is, right? It's another composition that is based on a grid, blocks. Sometimes I call it the Hollywood squares, but it is essentially the same thing. It's a repeat motif that changes color from one cell to the next. And what a great design. It's a wavy, right? It's a drunken Warhol. It's a wavy line. They're straight top to bottom, right? You'd need them to be straight top to bottom or it would be a total mess. But you can go wavy in one direction, just not in both directions. I mean, you can try, but that would be a tricky composition because it would have so much shift, I think this is so smart. Just being able to, Melissa, just being able to sit and say, you know what? I've got black, that's the background, that's sorted, and take out all your other colors that you have lots of, and just go for it. I mean, it's so sweet. It's so fun. I love the waves at the top and the bottom, the repeat kind of little hills of color, little rainbow hills of color. I like the color change in the lines, right? It looks like something is being used that goes from green to pink. I like that it has that kind of lattice quality and it changes color. And that color changing material, let me make it a little bit bigger, is present again in the border. I'm going to take you with me here. Hang on. Yeah, that's very cool. Wonder if that's yarn in the border. It might be. I think it might all be yarn. What do you think? I think it might all be yarn. So that would make sense because, I mean, you get more color changing yarns than wools. And when I say color changing, I don't mean hand painted or modeled. I mean yarn is color changing because it's like a continuous and regular change, right? The way that yarn is dyed, whether it's hand done, right, like a hank of yarn, or if it's commercially done, yarns usually repeat on a fairly regular basis. And if they are commercially done, more regular. But if they're done by hand, just the very nature of laying a hank of yarn out in a casserole dish and squirting it at intervals means that at that interval on every round, that color is going to come up. So it is fairly regular, when you are hand dyeing yarn. And that makes a lot more sense, right? Because that border is changing at a regular interval. And for that reason, it is making its own pattern. And that is the reason the lattice, right, the framework is changing color. One of the things I love about this piece is how large the centers are on the flower. I just love that. I mean, it seems more vintage to me that way, as opposed to like a small and tidy little dit dot in the center. It just seems like more kind of Sunbonnet Sue, doesn't it? I just love it. And I love that the centers are black and the background is black. It is an absolutely beautiful piece, Lorna. It's absolutely gorgeous. And again, it's a great reminder that if you've got some leftover bits and bobs, you want to maybe just sit down and do something like this. Just trust yourself. Confidence. Confidence is the only thing you'll need. Confidence, a hook, backing fabric, and your leftover scraps. That's what you need. And you can do something like this because, of course, the colors could be all different colors, right? That could be. And you could have more wavy lines. The lines do change color a bit here, so that's okay. Since they're outlined in black, it's going to work, isn't it? The black is very strong. Really, really pretty. Let me just switch. Hold on one second. Sorry, my screen's going wild. Okay. Okay, this was another lovely piece. This is by Peggy Lynette Recker with an R. And Peggy writes, "This is my very first punch needle. I can honestly say I like rug hooking better. I did this because I'm a Oh, I'm sorry, I've got the wrong one. I am so sorry, I've got the wrong one. Hang on. Oh, don't tell me I forgot to put that one in. Oh, come on, seriously? Oh, no. Did I do that? No, I'm good. I'm good. I just am looking at the wrong, I'm looking at the wrong name. Let's go on back. Sorry about that. Come on back. I'm an idiot. My paper slipped under the computer and I wasn't looking at the top. Rita Koning Declair. And this is such a Dutch name. It's crazy. Koning is like king. Really. So I wrote to her and said, "Are you Dutch? I'm just wondering." Sorry about that. Mama Bird with Nest. Now, this is an interesting piece because this is a commercial pattern by Woolen Folk Art, and that is on Etsy. This is on monk's cloth. It is 26 by 38. But Rita says, I made, so she changed the pattern. I made 8 eggs, and that's in that little nest there, to represent my siblings. It is made from recycled wool and fleece that I hand cut with scissors. Fantastic! Isn't that stunning? I love the pattern, and those are the edges of it, right? There's like a black border on it. Gail says, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. I love the colors. It has a bit of a like Provençal kind of quimper, right? Like a quimper feel a little bit. But in the center, it has kind of a pottery feel, like it's a dish or something. I just love a little Penn Dutch too, a little bit with the tree and the leaves not touching, right? Very graphic and it's very folky. The colors are unusual though. They aren't really folky colors. That blue really brings us to France, right? Like the blue, green, yellow quimper. It just reminds me of not folk art, right? Of other places, other cultures. It really is an extraordinary piece color-wise. It's a beautiful pattern. But I love this. The storytelling element is the part that I love the best. The fact that there are 8 eggs in the nest to represent the siblings, I think is such a magical and special personal touch. And the fact that those eggs are so colorful really draws my eye to the nest, right? It's a very special piece. Really beautiful, Rita. It's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Now, let me not screw this up again. Ryan punched this piece for sure because he always punches. The Skagit Valley Tulip Festival runs, I had to say that carefully because it was weird spellings, runs through the end of April. Word is today is the blooming day. This piece I did 3 years ago. Sold it for $200. It's called Tulip Patch by Mr. Joseph Montel. Interesting, by Mr. Joseph Montel. No, I'll just remind you that our friend Ryan is always picking up vintage patterns. He loves vintage patterns on burlap, and he has a favorite type of vintage punch that he always uses to execute these patterns. And he always does them beautifully, and he often likes to do them according to the original color plan. And that is part of the fun, is being very consistent and true to the pattern. And yeah, 200 is great for anything we make rug wise these days. It is hard to sell stuff for sure. Such a beautiful piece. I love the colors. It's so fresh. It's so it's artsy, isn't it? I mean, it's like you can see this up on someone's wall, and it's crisp. It's got great colors. It's not necessarily a seasonal piece, right? It could stay up. It does have a spring summer feel to it for sure. But it's just a nice tidy piece that kind of teeters on mid-century modern. It's another composition that spins on the idea of multiples with these straight sort of sticks coming up as stems, really rigid, really well done, great color choices, just fun, just a really fun piece, really sharp, really crisp, love it, beautiful piece, Ryan. And Rochelle, oh my God. So Rochelle writes, this was a labor of love for my daughter Evelyn's new condo. This is 6 foot by 5 foot, largest I've ever done, and this was done with a tufting gun. 95% wool, 5% cotton, Briggs & Little, McCausland's, and Icelandic wool. She wanted an abstract design done all in jewel colors, and she loves pink. I am so pleased. Oh, my word, Rochelle. Yeah, so tufting, I'm going to say it, and we're going to get more into it. I've been saying that for a while, and we are. I'm poised. Tufting, using the tufting gun is great if you enjoy it, right? And the thing about the tufting gun, just like latch hook, just like every other sort of different medium that people say, I like it or I don't like it, it's the materials, isn't it? Like this is done in a ton of wool. So you look at it, it's not acrylic. It doesn't strike you the same way that maybe a lot of other tufted projects strike you, right? It really looks like a handmade piece, and essentially it is, right? Whether you're holding a vintage punch, an Oxford punch, a hook, right? This is plugged in, right? So you get a little bit of speed that way. But at the end of the day, you trade. You have to be that much more precise to execute something. So there is precision, but with speed comes in a sort of heightened awareness and need to really stay on task, because you can lose precision with tightness, and Rochelle has not lost precision. It's absolutely beautiful. I have a couple more pictures of it I want to show you close up, because I find the idea of starting to use the tufting gun fairly endearing. Of course, you could use it for parts and not other parts. You can see she's put quite a few materials through the tufting gun. The thing is, when you're tufting large pieces, do you want to use expensive materials? It's the same question that it would be if you were making something for yourself, a rug hooked piece. Just because you're holding something electrical doesn't mean you don't like wool, right? Doesn't mean you don't want fancy, expensive wool. You get fancy, expensive wool, and you get beautiful pieces like this. Crazy times, right? Absolutely beautiful. Let me just show you the first one again. There it is. Wow. Wow. And the E is for Evelyn. I'm sorry, the E is for Evelyn. Absolutely gorgeous. Another example of how you can use your leftovers, right? This is basically a hit or miss rug. This is another pantsy rug, seat of the pants, right? And look at how great it came out. She did a lot with thoughtful color contrast, dark light, dark light, dark light. Sorry, I'm tired. And that's why you're getting all this movement. This is a modernist masterpiece. This, honest to God, is a modernist masterpiece. And she's filling as she goes. It's a question of how do you want to fill. It almost looks like there's a leaf in the middle, and I don't think there is, but with lots of fill around it. Just section by section, not big echo fills, but section by section. Absolutely beautiful. It's an exceptional piece. Now, Peggy, this is what I meant. Peggy Lynette Recker. I'm so sorry about that. This is my first punch needle piece, and Peggy prefers rug hooking, but she said, I did this piece because I'm a tea drinker, and it goes with my teapot pattern that I did. I need to figure out how to mount it. The gal whose pattern this is mounted hers on an old cutting board. So that's all I know now. I just have to say this is mini punch, not traditional punch. So this is much smaller scale, probably done with DMC or Valdani, or could do it by unplying other kinds of flosses and lightweight yarns. A lot of punch needles. I had my pretty punch out the other day, the pink one. I was testing with my pretty punch sock yarn, this sock yarn right here, and it's nice, kind of purpley, soft colors. The sock yarn went right through my pretty punch. So it depends on what brand, right? Because there's the actual Russian punch too, and those needles come in 3 different sizes, so you'd have to use the appropriate one. But sock yarn goes through my pretty punch. I don't know about ultra punch, but it'd be worth giving it a shot if you have an ultra punch, because that means that sock yarn is fair game, and sock yarn comes in so many pretty colors too. And you do find it occasionally in charity stores. Some of the big box stores are stocking sock weight yarn, right? So another possibility there. Absolutely beautiful piece. I mean, it's so charming, isn't it? It's so sweet and charming. And I understand about mini punch. It's not my absolute favorite either, but sometimes I just feel like doing it. And just as a reminder, oh, Danielle, that's okay. You know, it's recorded, so you can come back later. I've probably got another 5 minutes in me, maybe 10 tops. And I'm so hungry too. But there's a couple more beauties, right? There's a couple more beauties. So if you lose technology, you have to come back later because you're not going to want to miss the last couple of them. Mini punch is fun. It's always done on weaver's cloth. So don't be thinking you can do mini punch with a mini punch needle, no matter what brand it is. And I don't mean fine traditional punch. I mean a mini punch, which is different, right? It's a different tool. It's a different craft, right? It's done in the same way, but it's a different tool. You can't do it on backings that we use for rug hooking, right? Absolutely not. So you can only do it on weaver's cloth. It's very different, but it is very fun. And there are crossover fabrics like sock yarn, right? And any kind of embroidery, any kind of Persian wool from a needlepoint kit, that would do it. Peggy, I know you like rug hooking more, but this really is so sweet and charming. And I'm sure it's a tiny piece. It doesn't say, but I'm sure it's a tiny piece, and I bet it is going to go great on a little cutting board, right? I have a bunch of little cutting boards. I have to put them into stock. I always forget to put them into stock. So much fun to do with mini punch. Leah, first of all, I hope that you are recovering, right? Because Leah got a concussion and she said she's doing okay, but we have to keep checking in. Leah Fudge, this is brilliant. So she's getting ready to do another project. She said, just starting to organize my t-shirt fabric for rug hooking, and it is soothing my soul. The swatches are attached to containers with magnets, so I can take them off when I'm choosing my colors for the project. If you're thinking, what's going on here? I'm going to show you. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to take you for a ride again. And look at this. I mean, this is the kind of organized that I don't even dream of being. So on every clear box, she has hooked. She has cut and hooked a little bit of the material and glued it to a magnet and attached it to the box with a magnet, right? So you can fill different boxes with different things in the future if you change your materials. But when she looks at that and she's color planning, I don't even know what to call this. It is like, it's so organized. Let's think of a word for it. Wait a minute. It's like half maniacal, half organized. Organiacal. It's organiacal planning. It's I can't think of a better word for it. It's crazy. It's crazy times. You are fabulous. I wish that I could honestly say I'm doing this, but I don't think I'm ever going to be this disciplined. For people who are, you must do this. This is a great idea. Talk about saving space, talk about being organized and saving yourself time. When you look at it and you say, okay, I know exactly what to expect. That's the way I want the border to look. That's how that hooks up. Perfect, right? This would work great with patterned wools too. Absolutely brilliant. I think it's just gorgeous. So beautiful. What a great idea, right? And it looks really tidy too. I mean, look at the mustard and yellow one, right? You can see how that hooks up because it's a stripy material. It hooks up really bonkers, but you would want to know that, right? I love the way it hooks up, but you would want to know when to use that and where to use that. This is just a great way to stay organized, and you can have this stuff out because it looks pretty. Fantastic, Leah. I'm so glad you're getting stuff done and chugging right along. I want to know that you continue to be on the upswing. Candace. Oh, Candace Laird. I haven't seen stuff from you for a while, and you posted a bunch of stuff in the Facebook group. And I didn't put all of it into the show, but I had to put a couple pieces into the show because I love them so much. I love this piece, and this is selfish because this is a ribbon candy hooking piece. If you remember back maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I did a swatch series that I have not repeated because it was way too labor intensive. And it was based on girl detective stories that I love. Nancy Drew, sure, but my personal favorite is Judy Bolton, and always will be. We all had different sorts of favorites, right? There was the airline stewardess, Vicky something, right? We all had different favorites, but I love Judy Bolton, and I read them all, and I'm going to read them all again. My kids aren't interested in reading them with me, but I can read them over and over. I just love them. I love the Nancy Drews. I love all of the detectives. There were so many, during the middle, well, from the 1920s to the 1950s, and then the Nancy Drews went a bit later. Of course, they weren't all written by Carolyn Keene. They were mostly written by a bunch of men, although a few women did write them. A few women did. And wrote their own series as well. Judy Bolton was the same. It wasn't always the same person who was writing them. As far as I know, it was like a team of people. Anyway, I did this series based on like my memory of these girl detective stories. And I forget what this one was called. It is in Ribbon Candy Hooking. It would be under Girl Detectives. I think I did 3, but this is like a girl going up into the attic and seeing what she sees there. Thanks, Melissa. That's right up your alley. And she must have heard a noise, and she goes up, and there's like the old mannequin and a spider web and like a broken lampshade, and she shines her ray of light onto the old trunk, and she sees that it's a cat that's jumped up and knocked down a box of yarn that's gone flying. But I've never seen it done because I never did it myself. I started it, I didn't finish it. There's another one in a picture gallery, a bit of a Scooby-Doo thing where the eyes were like looking at the girl. And the third one I think was in the woods, and there was like tracks, and the girl was following tracks through the woods. I thought they were fun. I'd love to return to the series someday and add some more. But Candace, I love that you hooked this, and I'm so pleased to see it finished. It's so beautiful, and it makes me really eager to work on this one too. Maybe for the Halloween book, I'll do that one. And Candace, this is nothing to do with me. This is absolutely beautiful. This is another one that Candace hooked, and Candace said here. Oh, Candace said the girl on the pier was a commission based off of a person's painting. So Candace did this one herself based on this person's painting. And what a great thing to have a commission. You are so talented. It's wonderful. To be able to do work for other people, right, and to get commissions, right? It benefits everybody. This is so gorgeous, the girl on the pier. The way that the water's done, the way that the dress is flowing, her hair in the breeze, it's probably more than a breeze. It's just so evocative. It's so romantic. It has a little bit of a fantasy feel too because I think the hairstyle and the dress, it's just beautiful. What a great storytelling piece, right? I mean, I could see so many people wanting a piece like this, just loving a piece like this, because it's like it's with a composition like this, we as the viewer are being, of course, encouraged to look at what she's looking at. Like it's an invitation to look at her view. So we're not really looking at her. We're keeping her company, but we're looking past her at the view and to eternity. And then your eye kind of does what it does at the ocean because the water is very well hooked. Colors are very well hooked. You've got that very salty, light color near the shore, and then it quickly goes to the deeper colors. Things floating in there as well. Lots of interest. But the foam and the froth is handled exceptionally well, I have to say. And I'm very happy to see the sky in the colors that it is. It's different colors. It's an interesting sky, almost a bit of hit or miss color in there. But I'm so happy that there's not like a sunset or something because Evangeline, it totally looks like the poem, like the Longfellow poem, Evangeline. Do you think that's what it's based on? Maybe that's what it's based on, Melissa. That's a good one. You know, I feel like if there was any more storytelling here, like a beautiful sky or something, then we'd be thinking that it was about a sunset or a sunrise. I like it. I like thinking that it's about her thoughts. Like that for me, I want the storytelling to be, I wonder what she's thinking of. And that's a great story in my mind. That's wide open to so many ideas, right, and interpretations. It's a beautiful piece. So as usual, we ran over a little bit. It happens, but it was lots of fun. I'm sorry about that snafu at the beginning. I don't know how that happened. You know, I put shows up all the time. I don't know how I clicked on the wrong thing. But now I'll know when we log on. And I got some hairs all over me. Oh, I picked up the dog, didn't I? Now I'll know at the beginning if there's not a lot of people logged on that maybe I did a baddie. But luckily I was able to fix it while we were live. That's kind of surprising, isn't it? it's kind of surprising I was able to fix it at all things considered. So, all right, C's. I'm going to go in the other room because I'm working on my exchange postcard. I didn't know I was in the exchange. I didn't actually know. I thought maybe I would do it, but I didn't know I would do it. But then I was matched to someone, and I can't wait to get what she sends me, and I have to make something for her. And I'm already working on it. And it's a 4x6 postcard exchange, so it's going really fast. I just want to finish it so my finished piece can go into Magpie too. Doesn't matter, but it would be fun. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with me at the beginning when it was hard to find the link and all that. I'll be very careful and thoughtful about that now. I'll be working on projects this week, working on orders, getting everything finished for Magpie, finishing my exchange piece. I'm going to stay at my mom's tomorrow night. Go to church on Sunday. I'll be back after that. And I'll be back at work. So I got some busy times ahead, but it was one, and I'll be with you on Monday for coffee time. I don't know what we're going to work on, but we'll do something fun, I promise. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. We'll be together for coffee time. And in the meantime, have a great weekend. And if you have anything for me, or you have any ideas or questions, or you want to put something into this, not this Magpie's a little late, but next Magpie, or which will be the fall one, or the winter one after, or you want to do something for the Halloween book, or you have an idea for something else, you have an idea for your own book, something like anything that you have for me that we can talk about together, send to me at ribboncandyhooking@gmail.com. Right, I always love to talk and figure things out, make things work, and share everybody's work. Have a great weekend. You too, Gail. And I will see you hopefully on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, everybody.